What's up, everybody? Just grabbing the stream up real quick on my channel, just so I can make sure everything's all good. Perfect. That'll do. Okay. So today is day before tariff announcements tomorrow. I feel like the whole tariff hype is kind of overdone at this point. Let's go over to the charts though and see what's going on. I just want to make sure that when I transfer over to my screens, everything doesn't go away. Okay, we're chilling. So, um, sorry, one second. Okay. So I think a lot of the tariff talk is kind of overdone. I mean, a lot of Twitter thinks it's, the obvious trade is down, which I mean, look, my longer term bias is down anyway. Basically, if you go to the weekly chart, we can see that we played catch up to take the weekly swing that was originally diverged on. So from last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago, I don't know. Well, actually, one, two, three, like 3 weeks ago. So now NQ, like I had said, is just going to rapidly kind of fall to play catch up and take this low. So we left this yesterday's stream. I kind of talked about this wick and how we would probably visit some quarters of that wick. We have some 4-hour fair value gaps. Was that only? Wait a minute. Okay, I did them on both. This is just the weekly fair value gap. Let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. You can see we just nailed the top of that and started to puke down. Sorry, I'm just trying to clean up some things that are no longer relevant for me. So anyway, who knows? Maybe the tariff trade is that obvious, and we are just going to kind of collapse at any single thing that the guy says tomorrow. It's definitely a possibility. Yesterday, I saw this tweet, basically that the last 10 minutes of the market was like one of the largest pension buying market on balance or market imbalances. So that's interesting. I mean, those types of things are just constantly buying no matter what. But depending who's managing the pension, I guess you have a choice to buy before or after the tariff talk. So if that's the case and it's not completely systematic, then clearly somebody thinks, and moving a lot of money thinks that it's not going to be a big deal, and that we may even rally off the tariff news. So for today, got my cat over here. Always gotta show up and hang out. That's cool. It's totally fine. So for today, yesterday was a sloppy day. Uh, what I'm looking at is we have SMT. So this is yesterday's high. The S&P chose not to take that high. NQ did take the high into an old New Day opening gap, which I like, right into the midpoint and kind of shot down. So immediately my directional bias is down. If we look, ES did take some highs that NQ did not, which is like this little cluster here, and you can see it on my screen when I'm over here. You'll see the cursor on this side, or the line. We did not take that. We're well below. So let's see. I just need to throw this bad boy on, make sure I'm breathing all right. What's up, dude? I know. But now we do have divergence also on the lows. Very shallow dig from ES, but it's there nonetheless. And you can see NQ's playing off that weekly open and just dipping straight below midnight. So, however, from a profile perspective, we've been above midnight, fine, just around the start of New York session or close of London, not close, but transition from London to New York, which is I view as around 5 o'clock. We kind of had that divergence down. So a lot of news today too. So I'm actually going to set my alarms for 9:43 and 9:58. They're like my news in 2 minutes alarms in case sometimes I'll forget and I'll be within a trade and I won't realize to get out or expect that volatility is coming in. So I just want to double check on what that is for today. So we have global manufacturing PMI for March, and then we also have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. So 9:45 is global manufacturing PMI, 10 o'clock ISM manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing prices, JOLTS job openings from February. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, and also kind of what I want to note right now is that, and I didn't take an early entry on it because I don't love entering before 9:30 or like too close before 9:30. If I am going to enter, it should be like around 7-ish. So like, something like this would be fine. I'd be okay with entering, but I hate entering just before 9:30, especially if I'm using some sort of array for that. So what I'm looking at, you cannot have this. I'm sorry. You got your own water right over there. So what I noticed was that, obviously we have weaker, stronger. Now we have weaker, stronger. I'm not going to mark that out though. Something tells me it's probably going to get ran through. If we go to the hourly too, ES is now creeping into this hourly fair value gap. NQ has taken the high into that hourly fair value gap, which I like, because now it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to take this 15-minute high, this up close candle. But the way we're printing and the SMT at these lows, it could be that way. So let's let's go here. I meant to do this yesterday. Liquidity in black. There we go. Just never know when you're going to get a sick runner. Top step levels I usually have, not usually up, but like I'm conscious of them sometimes. I don't really use this stuff in my trading, but it could be helpful, like I also thought about like adding just VWAP to my trades. Not that I really use it, but like there's obviously reaction. So when I first started trading the concepts that I am now, I was like a 9, 20, 13, 50. I had EMA, SMA kind of confluence where essentially I created a momentum indicator that I scalped. And I kept that on for a while when I was first learning the concepts because I would use those as like guides to scalp out. Like, I had a certain set of rules for using those indicators. So I'm thinking about maybe adding like one or two, like, not an estimate, but maybe VWAP or something just to like help manage the trades. Because sometimes, like, it's not like that stuff is trash. It still works, fine. It's just doesn't offer the same level of insight that these concepts have. But sometimes it's just good, if I want to scalp out or I feel like a trade is lagging and I'm not really sure why. Usually it's just getting stuck at VWAP or it's supporting a VWAP line. And you could use all that stuff as narrative too, especially if you're pretty contrarian. So yeah, so we'll see. I may add something like that. I'm sure it's just right in here, So there you go. It's right on yes. I don't really love how it does that though. And I don't love, so let's see this. Let's go. Boom. That's all right. It's clutter. I already have a lot. I like to put a lot of drawings on my chart too. I've also discovered that talking in front of a screen makes me yawn. I don't know why. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's mark out this high. And just kind of see what that looks like on lower time frames. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get juiced. That's fine. Yeah, when I was looking at this too, just some wickless candles and stuff like that. Here, low resistance highs, low resistance highs. I don't love the structure of that taking a short into it. We do have this nice channel to target and these equal lows right here around. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll let the open show us. Maybe it's just a timing thing. It's not an incredibly bad look there. Question is, where do we go from there? There's this line, trend line. So right now I'm just going to scan for, I'm just going to be scanning for some lows, some highs to target, just something like on lower time frames that seems like an obvious draw. Help me with some bias. And again, it'll all be dependent on whether or not the SMT gets invalidated. Okay, so we have the midpoint of the swing range, this impulse range on the 5-minute, if we do want to travel higher. I'll kind of see if I could add. Okay, so there's no text on this line. I know on TradingView you can add text, so that's a little annoying. Yeah, whatever. I can just add it. I just say 5-minute impulse. Wow, I don't have the text. It's crazy. Yeah. Always turn on text wrapping. Let's just hit template, save as, default. Let's just go like that. Leave that there. So yeah, in a bit of no man's land here. So as you can see, we have double SMT, so we may just range. Could be seek and destroy before news. So yeah, I don't. Nothing super clear except for just like blanket statement of lower. I think it's because I don't breathe properly. Like why I yawn a lot while I'm doing this. I'm not really sure. Right. So check this out. Okay, so 4-hour range, not quite there yet. If you use this swing low, we just tapped into it. I typically like to do first swing to first swing. ES clearly from here to here has met its midpoint. So we have nothing to worry there. NQ possibly, but I don't know. We might just have to like hang and wait. I mean, the only thing that's clear right now is obviously the SMT, and we're actually holding that. So created some almost equals just before. So we'll see. Let's open is in 10 seconds. Okay, there goes the open. And again, was not a fan of shorting that out the gate just because of I don't love shorting pre 9:30 or just getting into a position pre 9:30 like that close to 9:30. Looking at the 15-minute chart, nothing to note yet. Otherwise, besides the fact that we have the SMT here. So right now I'm watching ES reject its midnight opening price and NQ kind of respect this stab into this 1 minute fair value gap. Pre-open, we did take some lows that ES did not. It's a little disjointed though. ES looks like it's wanting to play some catch up. We have these suspect lows here. Just want to see where we could maybe play around. Oh man, what a terrible fill. Just filled me at the absolute bottom of that candle in the 1 minute. I was gonna think about taking the short here. Are we frozen? What's going on? I think Topstep is frozen. I'm watching the chart. We're actually trading 9393. That's no good. I'm going to try to flatten the position. Sick. That sucks. So, boy, this is like every day you start with a $60 loss. I'm going to play catch up now to take those lows. I was thinking ES is going to come take these. I bet you it probably still will. It's just a matter of what's going to trigger it. So, let's see. We may have search and destroy here. It may take these highs and then rip down lower, but since those look the way they do, I'm not properly convinced that it won't stab up above. There goes that. Glad I was at least able to flatten that trade. Oh no, fat finger. There goes another, add another $7 to it. Or 10, 15, I guess. I don't know. Wow, the spread must be nuts right now. Okay, so there's the little catch-up move. These lows. If it runs back up into this candle, I'll take a short for him. Just as a scalp. No, opportunity is not quite gone. We'll see. I'm not going to, because sometimes Topstep will load the candle and it'll show that the wick came down, so I'm not taking this short just yet. There's value in trying one there. take that one off. Just to get some of the P&L back. We do have SMT on those little 15-second swings. Probably going to go for midpoint, these lows right here. Slightly flustered, but then would have just put a stop to break even and kind of got back on the horse there, to focus on these. Okay, hit off midpoint, generated some liquidity down at these lows. Let's see how we react. We're below midnight on both indexes now. See if we reject. Could be a good short off of the SMT between these swings. It's a strong close on the 15-second candle. However, on the 1 minute is a change in state of delivery. I could just be painting outside the lines here. Yeah, ES continuing to melt. We do have some SMT on the lows between here and here. NQ holding that midnight open. Let's take one, see if it wants to kind of come down and take these lows away from us. There's a 30-second. Let's add another one into that. I like how ES is remaining weak. And again, on NQ, I like that these lows are here. And we just didn't take them. ES running for these lows. Let's move this away. Let's put a buy order here. Cool. Go ahead. Just do it. Super sketchy. Because I hate how ES is taking these lows and NQ's dabbling through these. You'd like to just see it immediately kind of come down. I'm going to move my stop to even. Ugly if we get stopped out even though. Super annoying. Wow. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Nasty. Volume imbalance. No. All right, so we're going to keep that in mind as a target for later. And we actually have these two, which are pretty obvious, this cluster of lows as well. Let's get in there. I wonder if we're building. So I'm taking some feelers right now with smaller size just to see how we're reacting. Could be waiting for the 9:45 news. ES continuing to reject the midnight open. NQ's dancing around it. But let's just kind of see what happens here. Nothing super clear on a 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 5. They could be in trouble. So if you look at the 5-minute on ES, it's these highs that could be trouble for us. So we took the SMT high, not great, playing around the 50% level of that EQ. We're gonna close that one out here. Not worth holding. I think ES may want to try to trudge up for these highs, and Q may want to go up for these. It's the hourly fair value gap I just highlighted. Holding this range midpoint. Rejecting. So I'm just kind of, watching and waiting here. Both indexes have rejected the open or the CE of the hourly fair value gap. ES is really starting to fall off here. News in 2. I think he's probably going to use that news driver to take these lows. Seems like it's just a cascade here. Yeah, into the exponential candle. A lot of chopping around, a whole lot of chop. Might get away from these micro time frames for now until price kind of levels out. Just stick on the 1 minute for now. Again, I like these dead targets. I just too much divergence, a lot of so you can destroy that. One early loss really is grinding my gears right now from like that frozen. Probably would have held it anyway, so I'm not like really moaning about it, but meh. So yeah, it still seems like ES wants to, run up, take these high, or at least from a draw perspective, the way NQ is now acting. It could be a breakaway gap, but the ugly divergence is kind of telling me otherwise. I'm not really going to make a move on it. If anything, I'm going to use it as a short. I'm not really interested in trading up towards it. Like, I'm not interested in fading the downside at this moment. Structure's just too weak on the lows for NQ for me to want to fade downside. So there goes 945. I'm not sure if it's come out yet because the market's pretty much nothing burgered. You can see how we're reacting off that midpoint and the ES divergence. So it's midnight EQ of the opening range, opening like, first swing. And now we're kind of climbing a little bit higher. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't think it's any salient any longer. 5-minute chart's an absolute mess. 15-minute chart looks a little bit better. Still pretty ugly for NQ though. All right, PMI out. PMI news is out. All right, there goes NQ into that 15-minute gap. Yes, I'll probably follow. Yep, playing catch up. Let's get rid of that. This was a bit of a sickening one as well. I know better not to be hard-headed with these now through experience. Once I kind of saw what it was doing, I was like, been here before. Stopped to even. I could have closed. Probably in hindsight should have. So the reason, if you're wondering like, oh, well, if this was your target, why didn't you just close? You were literally right at it. Well, it wasn't. I was happy to close one here. But given the framework of the S&T on the higher time frames, we could have had a runner like, start to move down lower, and all the mess in the smaller time frames was just mess. So that's why I didn't close. I should have closed one. So that's where I was wrong. I should have closed the one that I anticipated closing here through a limit. But I mean, we were like literally 2 ticks away from it. It's just trying to be a little patient. But yeah, so the why not all of them? That's why. Why not one? My fault. So we wait. Working into the 15. Still in that hourly gap. I mean, it could just continue to run lower and roll over. Like on the hourly, like we don't have any S&T in those lows. NQ never took this low. Besides obviously the S&T from here to here, but like this action here, there was no real S&T on the hourly. Even on the 15-minute, we're pretty balanced. Besides there to there. But I mean, equal, might as well have taken it. So full fill on the hourly there for NQ. Quick little snap rejection on the 1. Could be a nice retracement trade down to these lows. I just don't like that it's tweezer topish. So yeah, at this point the plan is sit and wait because we could still just be going lower. To work out the higher time frame framework of the S&T. It's just, or we're going like it's the S&T right now is no help. All we have is context, and contextually, I think that we should be going lower. To these quarter quadrants of the weekly wick. It's just a matter of when and how. Windy up. Throwing on another jacket. It's always so cold in here. Whenever it's like hot outside, whenever it goes from like cold to hot and so on, my house gets like chilly. Like it retains the coolness, like the temperature difference is like drastic. Like outside's probably not that bad right now. Well, actually it's 43, it's pretty cold. The high today is 60, so. There's a little bit better of a rejection there. Let's see if we could start cooking with something. Maybe play off the inversion. We'll see. We still have 10 o'clock news as well. I don't like these highs, that's why I'm hesitating. Okay, so split second, I should have taken the short like right in here, put my stop above here because that's where we have the 15-second divergence. It's gonna be another chance. I can't get involved. I'm gonna sit on my hands. I don't like it. Sucks. I want to take it because I'd like to make some money back, but I just don't like it. And I also want to take it because the higher time frames are perfectly fine. It's just when I'm skeeved out by this type of structure, it's hard for me to trust. So for that reason, I'm just not gonna get involved. Ah, nasty. Let me look on NQ. I wonder if it's just an MNQ thing. Sort of, kind of, actually. ES clearly wants to move higher, though. There was definitely edge in this trade. It just felt like more of like a gamble. The edge was clearly that, we've rejected the top end, had the S&T between these two highs. It had to be a split second. And then it gave me plenty of options to enter. Just wasn't comfortable. So there's edge, 30-second or 1 minute inversion as well to trade that. I just hated this, That sucks. That's okay. Proud of myself for letting it go. That's different. Usually don't do that. Also, ES just like seeming like it really wanted to move higher. We do have these lows still, though. Kind of have to forgive and forget. 10 o'clock. Let's see what the 4-hour chart looks like. Yeah, 4-hour might dip a little bit. Play catch up maybe with ES to roll down here. So there's those lows on the retracement. This will be kind of my line in the sand, I think, this fair value gap right here on whether I believe we're probably going to go and take these or not. News in 3 minutes. So yeah, just stayed away from that one. I'm just playing profitable. Yeah, 28 points, 35 all the way to the top. News in 2 alarm. Yeah, I mean, look, 40 points. That's plenty of bread. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's, it worked out that time, but there's this scenario where it doesn't, and you feel dumb because you had a clear reason why it wouldn't. So, move on. Good spot to mark, Didn't touch the wickless part, which makes me feel like we're gonna come back down. Also, look at all these equals. I feel like this market's got to come down. Just poor, like super weak structure. So day before larger news, like tomorrow with the tariffs and everything. I think we also have like some sort of non-farm report tomorrow. We could also just be building liquidity for that, for another day. It's not a very like it. If we move far off of it, then that's what it is in my mind. If not, I mean, it's like it's like a 80 or 100 point rotation. It's not out of the question that we could range that for today. Back into that 1 minute. Let's see how we react. So Thursday, or what's tomorrow? Non-farm employment change. Is it non-NFP week? Yeah, non-farm. It's NFP week. Why do they do that? Why do they close it down? Now we have that gap in data, which is super annoying. It's completely messed up the charts now. I can't see on the micro time frames. I hate when they do that. Because that's meaningful info to me. So initial algos spiked down on the news. And it did reject that inversion once again. We have quite the gap. Let me look in the 1 minute. 1 minute's pretty much similar on TradingView. It's just showing that we did take that low, so we probably will go lower actually. So we do have a discrepancy between NQ and the MNQ contract where this wick did come and take this candle's low, this wickless low. So that's why I'm short right now. Usually the contracts will play catch up. This is kind of like a freebie if it pans out in my favor. And we'll hold. Obviously we think it can go lower, so it may really roll over. Considering tariffs tomorrow, it may save these stupid highs. So let's move the stop to even there and just see it roll over. So the discrepancy was the initial news wick, like the candle post news wick. We took this 959 low, and if you look on the 1 minute on MNQ, we didn't. So 959 low wasn't taken, so that's why I got short. Still no target just yet. Messing around in this fair value gap. If midnight opening wasn't right here, I would definitely dabble with adding to the short to come take these lows. "30-second fair value gap is like literally my last chance before it comes back and takes me out even. And we only entered one because, just post news. Let's not be too dumb. If it works out too, we're going to make plenty of money anyway. Planning on this holding me here. This is that inverted like 15-second. Okay, bled above it. Whatever. Just holding for more and not getting any follow through. It's been the theme of like the last couple days. Like yesterday was the same sort of thing, no follow through. Just can't catch a wave. Probably should have taken that one. Oh, I hate one contract trades. ES still rejecting. Is there anything to the left on ES that makes me want to, well, sort of. Here. So ES rejecting the midnight open and then NQ just tapping into the hourly fair value gap and just drowning is kind of what's got me looking for a reshort. I'm going to watch this gap. 4 seconds. Finally just add one, whatever. Don't tell me it retook it. Wow. Tried to get short off this gap, closed below, tried to add so that way I had opportunity to cover some over here. Just nothing. This is just mess. Super annoying. Yes, retracting again. You know, I feel like I'm getting played with here off of midnight. I feel like I'm just getting bounced around. Like you zoom out, it's just added another one there. Just looking for it to roll over. Yes, showing weakness. I know NQ has these lows down here. Like we can't play this game forever. And again, the hourly SMT is still very much alive. Let's clear a couple into that spike down. Secure even on the day. Let's just see if we really start to roll over here now. NQ will need to like really hurry up to invalidate the SMT here. Do I want my stop at even, or do I want it where it's at? You know what? I'm gonna, 30 bucks, whatever. There's between down 30 and down 10. I don't really care. So I'm actually gonna give this open a shot. Uh, you know, just to the open of the 1 minute, that is, here to reject, because we just came in and tapped. Okay. Tap midnight. I just didn't want to get like wicked out real quick for like, there's no real difference to me whether I'm down 30 on the day or down 10. So I might as well take the even stop out and give it myself a chance to like, you know, make a solid move to the downside here. Now let's just see where it wants to roll. Yes, it's finally coming down. So if we look at the 4 hour, yes, it's taking those lows. Let's see if NQ speeds up. Definitely a super weird gap there. I would like to look on Trading View. Not as bad, but we could come up and retest that. That'll be viewed as a gap. Yes, so still showing weakness on the lows, which I like. But NQ just, you know, being super, super stubborn. Finding some support at this BS little cluster. Like I said, we'll give the open a chance. Ideally, we don't really run over this high. If we run over this high, my stop is probably in jeopardy. 34, that would be even on the day. I'll just keep it where it's at. I mean, it's a great rejection off midnight. I just don't like how they're equal highs. I think they're actually just one tick off, maybe. So that's a better sweep below these lows. Now, if it wants to come up, I am most likely chalked. See if ES wants to reach back into its new week opening gap. It's where it's where NQ is right now. It's just a matter of whether ES wants to find value there. Still stuttering, a whole lot of stuttering from NQ. The hope is that once NQ rolls over, it really rolls over with some like real speed. That's really what I'm looking for here. I'm just watching that 5-minute gap on ES. NQ, same sort of thing, just waiting. I really want the week open to reject it lower here. If it's going to run higher, it seems like it's probably going to want to take these highs. So just want the week open to really have it melt. Okay, there goes ES. NQ's falling apart. Love to see it. Let's now move our stop to here and get ready to close out of this trade. I was thinking about adding 5 here, but I didn't want to just give up this unrealized. Like it would move my stop, it would move my position essentially right here. So I wasn't really willing to do that. One more kind of spike down for NQ and would be pretty happy here. Just rolled the stop up above these little highs. That's fine. So yeah, I just didn't want to play with it for too long around this area. Safer stop probably would have been above this up close candle high, but that's giving up more than what's necessary, I think. And that created another equal. And yeah, like I think ES has to come down and touch this new week opening price. I think NQ is going to at least take this low and then possibly this one. So we may actually have another trade to mess around with, but let's just see where we would want to take it. Okay, and that 30-second gap is nice. Take that one. Slightly chasey. Add one more into the week opening there. If it's just going to roll over me, I'm dead. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's add back a little hindsight there. Add another one. Let's add some more into that. Let's just add into the pressure of it going lower. That's a crazy look. I hated the way that candle printed, by the way. Snap bid. I'm just trusting the draw here that it can go a couple points below that. Wow. Added one more. Just trying to trust the flush. I love how it's playing right at my entry. Who doesn't love that? Come on. Tank it. Come on. Being really nasty at this open here. It's got to go now. After the touch of that midpoint, it's got to reject hard now. Okay, good. So top wick rejection on the opening price. Finally to make a move for me. Let's put in a limit. Come on, man. This is just disgusting. I'm going to hit bye-bye because I'm clearing some off here. There's no point in me just holding here. It's just gross. Oh, cleared another one there because I know better. Yep. Probably it'll tank now. It's the final spike up. Hit the opening there. Yuck, man. What a day. Fought the impulse there to take the short after stab above, reject that opening hard. Trying not to be a degenerate. Okay. I mean, clearly I don't want to lose. Let's watch into this gap, see if there's anything interesting for a bounce. Although we just really played a whole lot in this area, so I don't know why we would overtake it. So for that reason, I'm probably going to chill for a minute. Might run back to midnight here. Change in state on the 15-second. No real SMT yet. Just dipped into the 5-minute fair value gap. Try one there. See if it clears this midpoint. So we're clearing where we just worked a lot of price. So that to me is pretty confident boosting for the long. I really would have expected to have just gotten shoved right in this area if we were going to continue to go lower. So let's watch this set of candles here. ES really showing a lot of strength. I only have one contract on. I'm going to cut that trade. I'm happy with the little long. Just was watching the 5-minute fair value gap. We could run back up to midnight, but again, try not to fade the higher time frame of hourly SMT and then the subsequent puke lower. Let's see. Use this as an order block. Didn't quite touch the open, but we could look at that as strength. I feel like I'm kind of sold on these like hourly, midnight highs. Straight up. Took another one just to play the continuation. Give myself a chance to scalp out as well. Solid. Take one off there and as we approach midnight. Yes, takes that high. Keep the stop even here. Why is Topstep they're actually broken right now. Their auto break even is broken. You can see it's just keeping me at original entry. It's not accounting for my new average. So good. We just took those highs. I'm actually gonna get out after that reaction. No need to hold for me anymore. Although I think like we could rip all the way back up here just because again I have, I have something against these highs. Uh, so the premise for taking that long trade was we sat still for a second just to check out how we were reacting. So I had this five. That's what this low was the high of a 5 minute bullish fair value gap. So I was watching, that reaction. ES was clearly weaker. We're in a we're in more of a discount in relation to ES, even though ES looks like it's the weaker pair the way it was falling. In relation to the weekly candle, NQ was actually in a deeper discount because you can see we were below the weekly open price, and ES is still above it. It just tapped into the high portion of the new week opening gap high. So while we were there, and ES, there's also a 5 minute order block paired with the same 5 minute, fair value gap. I had them both marked out. Little bit of bleeding, I think, like around. Actually, ES just full filled with bodies, which is fine. Um, So yeah, so we saw this kind of, super strong reaction off of the 5 minute, and while ES is touching at the top of its new week opening gap. So that to me is discount. Um, Super strong reaction off the high, quick 15-second change in state of delivery, meaning just overtaking those down close candles. Sorry for the grossness over here. We were just trying to get involved. So yeah, we took one long after we changed the state and we dipped into the fair value gap down here. Also, you could look at this as a breaker, low, high, lower, low into a point of interest. So that's a nice, like a unicorn setup a lot of guys like to take. Shaved it off here once we just, made some cash. Um, Re-entered after overtaking this down close and coming back down below the weekly opening price into another imbalance. The overtake is kind of what was like, okay, this could be just a quick rotation to the upside. I did like these equal high targets right at midnight as a short-term target, and it looked like we were drawing pretty good over there. So we got long. Started to get stuffed at this imbalance. Wasn't super worried about it. Saw the very tiny imbalance here holding us. As soon as it gave me a modicum of confidence that we were going to continue off of this imbalance, I actually added into it just in case, we have like just because we were in this gap, I figured we may have a spike up and maybe get shoved. So if that's the case, I do want to get paid for this trade and not let go of the whole thing just to aim for these highs again. So you can see we added one more as this candle started to print upwards. It gave us another quick, I don't know, 15 points or something. Let's see where the other app was, like right around there. Yeah, about 15, 20 points. We cleared as soon as we got the strong spike up. ES was already taking, so if we look at this candle, ES was already taking these highs, so that's why I cleared one pretty much immediately. And then we got in, we got the stab above midnight, took out these equal highs, and the immediate shove I don't love to see after that shallow of a run. Again, keeping in mind that on the hourly chart we were fighting order flow, um, or at least we were fighting trend. I don't want the order flow guys to get all pissed off at me because I'm not looking at a DOM or whatever. But yeah, I would love to learn how to trade that. By the way, that's like kind of my next thing that I would love to get into is reading Sierra chart and seeing all that stuff. I've tried to like do some footprint stuff, but it's, I don't know, hard to know what exactly is happening. Not from like obvious, like I could see like when there are stacked bids or absorption at certain levels. But I don't know. I have like some conceptual questions that I would need to talk to one of those guys about. But yeah, so after getting shoved there, I mean that's all you need on like a down day where you're looking for um, momentum to the downside, or like you're looking to continue to trend down. A stab above two highs that looked like good support or resistance. That little take stops right into the midnight open. That's usually good enough to continue down. So that's why we cut our trade there. Obviously, it was a great idea because we would have been taken out at even for like the 30th time, 30 millionth time this challenge. So yeah, it was a rough start to the morning. Just having to navigate all this crap. We had some little low time frame cues that saved us. That also some that we just weren't able to capitalize and make any money off of. Like this one here, we knew that the discrepancy between the MNQ, the MNQ and the NQ chart from this low to this low was going to be fixed. It was. I could have scalped out, but again, we were looking for these lows as a target. This was just more so like at the very least we should go down here, and that's why I'm going to enter where I am, timing wise. Then we on the 1 minute just kind of accepted that like we're just in this sort of choppy down range. We're still holding this set of up close that did tap in the 10 o'clock open, did tap into the inversion 1 minute, and just kind of got on site. This is where we got chopped up a little bit after the correction of the discrepancy, or the cracking correlation between the two contracts. Not ES, but not the intermarket, but the same market correlation. So it would be sick if Topstep took away that $60 loss because of the platform not working. Just thinking about it, maybe I'll wake up tomorrow, my thing will be bigger than what it is. Let's actually lock out for the day though, because we're good. My theory is that we will probably go back up here, just because I don't know if like we're gonna just puke already. It could have been here, but yeah, there's just too much low resistance. And also back to what I said, like whenever you have a 4-hour like gap like this, we're at least gonna move within here. We're gonna try to balance the range from this to this, because that's essentially it's a gap up. So you have this candle close and then it opened, what is that, like almost 23, what is that, 33 points, 67 to 400. I don't know, my math is trash. We'll just call it 33 because I know 60 to 4 is, yeah, 33. So that's a 33-point gap up. So we'll probably want to work that range. And if we're going to work that range, we might as well take these stupid highs that kept me out of the top of the trade anyway. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking about it. I don't know where I just was in terms of train of thought. I'm feeling real ADD right now. Tomorrow's tariffs. See what happens there. Yeah, super annoying, man. Like these days have been rough in the mornings. I had the one good morning on stream where it was like just a quick 2:30. Obviously, I looked for more, had to battle it back. So it's been a hell of a battle this stream. So I'm also just trying to find confidence with streaming itself and trading while streaming. It's totally a different dynamic. It makes me like, and there's nobody watching right now, by the way. Like there's 0 people watching the stream. But the solid part is like it's making me second guess myself in like a healthy way, I think, where certain trades are like, maybe a little bit too cowboy. So I'm okay with like, that, but also sizing wise, I'm definitely trading lower size than what I usually do. I'm glad that I am for now, especially because I feel like I'm second guessing myself a lot, and that's kind of leading to some unnecessary losses, so some unnecessary drawdown. But yeah, so all good. We're gonna cut it there for today. Thank you to anyone who's tuning in. If you're watching these on, the recording, thank you. I hope they're helpful. I try to really, walk through. If anyone has any questions or anything, you can obviously reach out to me on my Twitter, or you could, it's also, I'll link that actually into the description. My Twitter, you could obviously just leave a comment on these videos, and if I don't see them, just spam the comment. I get so many notifications from YouTube from subscriptions, I just have to fix that. But yeah, so thank you guys. Oh God. All right, end on a sneeze. Thank you for watching. That's gonna be it.